Good morning, or good afternoon, excuse me. It's been a long day already. This is a special Commissioners Court meeting. It's Wednesday, August the 18th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the Kerr County Commissioners Court is now in session. Remind everyone to turn your cell phones off or to vibrate. And do we have any Commissioners' comments?
Nope.
Then we'll proceed to the consideration agenda. First item is 1.1, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the FY 2021-2022 Kerr County wage adjustment policy, I think it is, right? The wage adjustment?
This is for the wage increase.
Ms. Doss.
Sorry.
Mind you point out that we got Tom on the phone.
Oh yeah, and Commissioner Moser is on the phone, and Commissioner Ballou is absent today with the death in the family.
Well, good
Ms. Doss.
afternoon. This is really to approve the wage adjustment, the across-the-board employee wage adjustment.
The
The amount or the policy?
1.5%.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve the adjustment we previously considered for 1.5% across the board pay increase.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Lett, seconded by Commissioner Harris to approve the wage adjustment at 1.5% for fiscal year 21 to 22. Any discussion? Those in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 4-0, unanimous. Item 1.2, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to correct language on the current PTO policy. Jennifer Doss.
Yes, sir. Under letter A, it says full-time and part-time employees. We just need to remove and part-time. Further down on letter C, it's self-explanatory, but we just need to remove the and part-time under letter A. But everything else is good.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Letts to approve deleting the language, part-time? And part-time?
And part-time under A.
In paragraph A. Any discussion? Okay, I think the motion was made by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Letts. Those in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, 4-0. 1.3, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve an addendum to the compensation study salary recommendations. Ms. Doss.
Yes, sir. We had a later in the year new hire in the 198th that was on the no grade and step plan that did not fall in the cost estimate. We have identified that, and we just need to bring that employee up to the grade 21, step 1.
And that is on this newest handout, Jennifer?
I think that was in the backup that Jody gave y'all, but it's highlighted here.
About
Got
the
it.
Six from the bottom.
I've got it.
yes, it's included. I make a motion we approve the addendum to the compensation salary study as recommended, which is the highlighted item on the handout.
Second.
A motion's been made by Commissioner Letts, seconded by Commissioner Harris to approve the addendum to the compensation study salary recommendations. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, 4-0.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Item 1.4, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on authorization to issue requests for proposals on the 550 Earl Garrett building to receive bids for painting and flooring. Shane Evans.
I'll handle this real quick, Judge. We're not going to go out for bids on this. I visited with John Bull and with the auditor and with the county attorney and with maintenance. And it's going to delay that move-in quite a bit if we go in there for the flooring and the painting and some 2 doors that need to be, or 4 doors, 2 doors that need to be added. That would not would exceed $50,000, so we'd have to go out for competitive bid. We are going to go forward with painting, which is about a little bit over $18,000 amount, and adding the doors, which is about $15,000, which is both well below the the $50,000 to competitively bid, and we will address the flooring next year at a future date, future budget. Okay.
Okay, very well. And that's all we have on the open meeting. Oh, excuse me, Commissioner Moser?
Nothing. I was just going to
Okay.
go ahead.
So we're going to recess, go into executive session to discuss items 2.2A and B. A is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on the possible hiring of a Kerr County Extension agent. And B is consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding Kerr County Extension Office personnel salaries. So with that, we'll ask you to leave, and if you would, this shouldn't take long. We'll be out and back in open. It is now 3:12, and we're coming back into open session. And the next item on the agenda is any action to be taken as a result of executive session. So on the first one, is there a motion on the hiring of a Kerr County Extension agent?
I make a motion that we hire or recommend the hiring of Justin Klingsick.
That's Klinksiek.
Correct.
Okay. Second.
And
And the salary, I believe, I believe the salary will be determined by the district with.
District 10,
AgriLife representative?
yes.
Okay, very good. So we have a motion and a second to hire Justin Klingsiek as the Kerr County Extension agent. Any discussion? For those of you that don't know him, he was a very impressive young man when we interviewed him. Very impressive.
He's
And
from-
two very good candidates.
And he is originally from Bandera County, so we're bringing somebody closer to home.
Actually, 2 out of 28 candidates that we interviewed.
28 applied, we interviewed
Right.
the final 2. Both of them outstanding. Justin's slight edge, and his previous extension work has been in McCullough County.
From Bandera originally.
Anyway,
Okay, so with that, I'm going to call for a vote. Those in favor say aye or raise your hand. Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay, so that'd be a 3-Z-1-0-1. 301. Okay. Then item 2.2B, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding Kerr County Extension Office personnel salaries.
Judge, I'll make a motion that we increase the salary of the 4-H coordinator by 3%.
I second that.
Okay. We've got a motion by Commissioner Letts, second by Commissioner Harris, to raise the salary of the 4-H coordinator 3%. Any discussion?
That would be effective
October 1.
October 1.
Right, exactly. This person has gone above and beyond over the last 14, 15 months since we while we were out an extension agent, and there was a hiring freeze by AgriLife, and got put off, and this person has worn 2 hats and just done an outstanding job. So I think it's warranted.
Any further discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, another 3-0-1. Okay, is there any other business before the court other than the workshop we're about to go into? Then the special meeting will be adjourned. And do we need to take a break, or are we ready to go into the workshop?
Ready to go?
Okay. Then this is a Commissioners Court workshop. It's Wednesday, August the 18th, 2021. It's a little after 3:15, 3:16 in the afternoon. And what we're going to do today is review and discuss the overall 2021-2022 budgets, considering the tax rate of 3 choices. The current 2021 budget, no new revenue budget, or associated with a 20% reserve balance. And so it is open for discussion.
Judge, if I may, I think at the last Commissioners Court, I ran some numbers myself. I was really interested in what the tax rate would be if we had 25% reserve as opposed to 29% reserve, and I came up with about 39 cents per hundred. The auditor's done it, and you have those numbers there. So if I may, I've got some thoughts, if I could proceed on the 3 different tax rates.
Proceed.
Okay. Number 1, I think the proposed tax rate, the proposed budget that we have with no new revenue is a good budget. It gives a reserve of a little over 29%, which is significant. When I look at the 25% reserve, which is our guideline, that's a significant reduction of about about 6 cents, no, excuse me, 4 cents per hundred if we go down to a 25% reserve. To me, that's comfortable for somebody with a $250,000 house. That's like about $200 per year in tax saving as something to consider. And I thought about that long and hard since the last 2 weeks and before then. But since then, Judge and other commissioners, I thought about our current tax rate. And I think it's something that I think we should discuss and consider. And that is inflation as of yesterday was 5.5% on an annualized basis. Probably going to go up from that. It's the highest inflation rate that we've seen in 21 years. So there's some merit, I think, in keeping our current tax rate of about 47.5 cents per hundred. And that gives us a reserve of a little almost 32%. What we might consider is, I think we have, and Tanya can correct me if I'm wrong, or the judge could, I think we have $250,000 in contingency in the proposed budget. If we were to keep the current tax rate and not reduce it to the proposed tax rate, which is no new revenue, and increase our contingency, I think that would put us in a better position in the county to be able to face inflation, because I think none of us are economists, and I don't know that we've had any input from any economists, but I think the economy is such that inflation is going to be much greater than we thought. I know as we went through establishing the proposed budget, in several departments we increased the fuel costs because we thought things were going to go up. I think in light of that, fuel costs have gone up 50% year over year. I heard something the other day that transportation for one delivery of one truckload of something from last year went up from $8,000. This is just delivery out of the goods, $8,000 to $12,000. That's a 50% increase. I think inflation is going to hit us in the county much greater than we probably have realized and incorporated into our budget. So I put this on the table just for us to seriously consider between now and next Monday those features and what the tax rate is that and what the budget is that we ought to propose and approve next Monday. So I know there's one other thing that's of consideration, and that's the limit on what we can have in the following year's tax rate of limited into 3.5% increase. And I ran a quick number on that. I don't think Tanya has, or I don't know if she's had an opportunity to, but it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 46 cents per hundred if we went down to if we started with the lower tax rate associated with 25% reserve balance. So I think we would be even okay with that. So with that, I'll be quiet, and those are my observations of the proposed budgets and the tax rates.
And Commissioner, excuse me, I missed. You're giving if we kept the current tax rate at 47.5 cents, what kind of fund balance reserve percentage would that be? It was 30.
Let's see, according to Tanya, what she just handed out was 31.7%.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a good analysis, Commissioner. And I know we're just up for discussion, and we'll vote on this next week. At the moment, my thought would be to stay at the no new revenue rate. That's kind of in between. It gives us a fund balance of 29%. That allows a little bit for the potential of inflation. At the same time, gives a small tax rating reduction.
I agree with that assessment. The inflation's real, not only for us, but also the taxpayers as well. So, I think no new revenue rate is probably the way I'm seeing it.
Well, I think Commissioner Moser makes a good point. And by the way, I'm a minor economist, not a major economist. I just minored in it. But
I knew that.
I know, but even though we know this is a no new revenue tax rate, it is reducing the amount of tax that's charged per $100 valuation, right? The rate.
Correct.
The rate comes down.
The rate comes down a little bit. Look at it.
About 2 cents.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and that's significant.
And the point that you make that if we really do get hit with inflation, we're going to have to come back from the new lower rate, and we can only raise that at 3.5% max, which is going to put us just a little ahead of where we are right now.
Yeah, Judge, and Bob Reed, I talked to Bob Reed about this too. It's the 3.5% plus there's some carryover, and I'm not smart enough or detailed enough to say what that is. But Bob said that's an additional 4.9% or 4.9 cents that we can add to the 3.5%. That's where I got we could go up to about, and Bob would have to verify these numbers, up to about 46 cents per 100 we'd be limited to. If we went down, if we started at the 41 cent tax rate, if I'm making sense.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion on this?
So the only other thing I'd add is, and I hear Jonathan and Don, by reducing the tax rate, and I'm still thinking about this too, I haven't decided how to vote, but by reducing the tax rate by from 47.6 cents per 100 to 45.4, that's equivalent to about $1 million in revenue that we would be reducing. So my only thought was, well, $1 million, a good portion of that ought to be added to contingency for inflation. So I think I've said that 3 times now, so I don't need to say it again.
Okay. Anything else? I believe that's all we have on our workshop agenda, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So with that, court will stand adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.